Hey, welcome to the Linux channel. So often I get questions from various viewers about joining classes as a part of the Linux channel I handle at home for students in Bangalore and others via online stuff like that. So they have this confusion that some of the freshers, they have the confusion like what could be the exact syllabus I'll be teaching them and what could be the content I'll be teaching them and stuff like that. So this is what exactly I have mentioned in the website about the overall overview of the same. I have categorized into many categories. So the essential part is you are paying one time as a part of lifetime membership. As I said, this is a model of a Guru Shishya model. This is not something like what you learn in a college or school. The problem with the college or school education is like Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki, there is something like 60 to 70% what you learn, or even 80 to 90% what you learn in the school is not going to be useful in your basic life skills. When you compare your college education, around 60 to 70% what you study in the college is never going to be useful in your actual career. So this is what is the gap it is going to be. So I don't need to come sometime down the lane in your life and again I'm going to teach again some useless theories what you learn or what you learned already in the college. So the point is I'm a guy from industry and I have been in industry, I'm still working in the industry. So I want to carry that baggage and I want to kind of teach my students the real practicality of any code when they deal. Just because you have certain data structures or certain methods or algorithms, that doesn't mean it is going to be useful in the real world usage in day-to-day basis. So this is where you need to think about the practicality versus something you learn as a part of theory in your school or college. So that way what I did is to kind of make them understand, I just put a few topics like it can be a system software engineer, and under that there are few topics I have mentioned, and then network software programmer, and then it can be a network admin, or else it can be a programmer and stuff like that. So point is you are not choosing any specific course as a part of joining the classes. To be frank, what is that idea is these are the various topics which I can cover and a student can learn all the topics. So there is no restriction about it. As I said before, there is no categorization of subject itself. You are joining as a my disciple, or in other words as Shishya, if I say in an Indian language, because there are so many Indian languages, but eventually most of the languages has the same word in all the languages as Shishya, which means a disciple. There's a difference between a student and a disciple. A disciple is someone who kind of takes somebody as their master and then learns under a master. So it's like the initial followers of Jesus, or initial say for example this Kung Fu Panda, you have that Master Shifu. Under the Master Shifu there are few disciples under them, so they are beyond students. It's just not for them Shifu is just a teacher, he's a master. So this is what it is. So I want some hierarchy like that. I don't want to be somebody like yet another teacher and training you some stuff. And if you want something like that, you can anyway join to these training institutes and you can learn from there. So there is no point coming with me. So I don't want to get into such things. Of course I'm going to teach some based on whatever you want. I can teach in these classified topics. So that's why I have put these topics, so that it is easy to understand what I can exactly cover as a part of it. But beyond that, assume you are doing a specific project. Say for example, recently I got a student who is really confused about, he has not yet joined, but he is really confused about, he is doing some experiments and some research on AI, and he is thinking that whether I can teach him or not, and he is asking me what could be my path in terms of teaching his AI research. So this is where I'm saying that you have to join, leave everything to me, just trust me, I'm going to assist you. But he is unable to understand. He is asking me exactly how you are going to teach me. Please tell me that how you are going to teach me. So this is where, he is not yet ready to become a disciple. He's just thinking that I can be a student under me. So I don't want any students, to be frank. So I can't use the word disciples everywhere. So I just need to use a generic term as a student, so that globally people can understand. So that's why I just mention as students, but it is not really students. I want a hierarchy. Like, I want to be the master. I want them to learn more than this, anything else. If they are into let it be sometimes non-technical aspects, let it be sometimes even philosophical or spiritual aspects, it can be even that. If they are interested, I'm there to discuss things about it. So this is what it is. So this is what I kind of handle, and that's the reason I teach generally. Some of my students are more than a decade of industrial experience they have already. So why they should learn under me? So the point is, they need something beyond that regular mundane teaching which they can get in any institute. So if you go to my students page, as I said, I can make that page name as a disciple. So I don't want to confuse and use some weird terminology. So I just use the word students. And under that, if you notice, there are very few students who are just out of college or who are still doing in studies in their college. And I have also got my first student, he's Shyam, and he was a college student when he joined, and now he's working in a firm in Delhi. So I have students worldwide, as you can see here, and some of these students, although it is not mentioned there, if you go to their LinkedIn and check whoever they have interested, they have shared their LinkedIn and other social networking contacts. So some people have even shared their email contacts as well. So some people, they just want to be anonymous or part private, so they have not shared their details. So some people I have not, some of my students I have not even listed over here. So as long as you can see here, some of them have a vast amount of industrial experience. Some of them have my recent student have more than 15 years of industrial experience, and also a couple of them have 10 plus years of experience. I also have a student who is doing PhD and stuff like that. So this is the sort of assortment of talent pool I have under me. I don't want to have so much of huge classroom and filled with lot of students and stuff like that. I'm not a person comfortable like that. If I'm comfortable like that, I must have been as a college lecturer or something. I in fact got a job. My first job I got as lecturer in college. I just attended the interview in the same college where I studied, but again I thought teaching is something I can do as a passion, but not as a mundane regular career. So that's when I just took a decision, and unfortunately I need to turn them down. So this is what it is. I can teach well, but I don't want to be as a mundane regular teacher. So this is what it is. So in case if you guys are interested to learn something and interested to do some research, I can assist you as a part of that, and you can be in touch, and together we can do. And there are also students who have done research and then they have published some of the articles. So one of my regular contributor is Ramin from Iran. He's an excellent student. He's into security domain. It's a case that he is interested in systems apart from his ethical hacking and other stuff. So things like that. He had been a regular contributor in writing few articles in tutorials. I do publish his articles in tutorials. Say for example, in his case, say for example, this is his recent article, and there is another article he wrote which is quite popular. So the point is, he is not an English speaker, and he's good in terms of chat. So I do teach him or engage him only via chat, and we do communication on every weekly basis most of the times. However, there are gaps here and there, but it's comfortable. We both chat and exchange the ideas, and apart from that, whenever he submits an article, he's not good in English, so generally he writes it in overview, whereas I need to take that responsibility of composing it with the to an extent right amount of grammar what I am good at. So, and then I complete his articles and publish over the same. So this is what it is. So it doesn't matter you have certain language barriers, you have something like you have already been in the industry, and you are thinking like, why I need to go for a regular course. This is not at all a regular course. So each student I handle them separately. Each student I have a specific progress or task list where I mark them in a book, I mark them in a system, and I track the progress, and I know that next what topics I need to discuss. And most of the times I don't choose the topics. It is they are the people who are going to ask the topics. I need to learn about this, can you teach about this? Then I'm going to cover the same. It is not I'm going to fix any syllabus. It is not any syllabus oriented classes at all. So if you are thinking that I need to come up with a fixed menu and then handle each subject, and I need to do a checklist, you have to do is in case you have done your graduation, you can do masters, a full-time masters, rather than studying under me. So I'm not a person who covers in any sort of syllabus oriented studies or something like that. So it is completely out of question. So in case if you are still confused that in which way these classes are going to be fruitful, you can discuss any of my students, and you can chat with them, and you can understand basically what is it overall thing is about. So the problem with the college studies is most of the times what they teach in the college is useless theory, and it's just completely baseless when it comes to the real world applications. So in that way, if you compare the fate of BlackBerry phones or fate of Nokia Lumia, what is the issue? It is having all sorts of technical aspect. It works well. It does what it is advertised for. So there is no question or anything wrong with the technical team who have worked in that specific product in terms of making that product. It is an issue with the management. It's an issue with the company, and it's an issue with that product market space itself. So this is what it is. So often any fresher approaches me, they have this mental block that they expect me to be theoretical and cover something with respect to their college teaching methods. It can be some kind of maths oriented, something like that. It is not, the industry is not about those kind of theory and mathematics what you study in the college. Industry is completely different. What you study in the college is completely different. If you put the college theories in the real world, you are going to be completely obsolete, so to be frank. So this is what it is. I'm not I'm not any mad scientist or something who is going to sit in those kind of weird theories and stuff like that. I am not a person like that. I am a person who works on application part of it. I mean to say, not user space applications. I mean to say anything you have as a theoretical subject, and when you apply in the real world, I am a person who does this. So I am a person who have that industrial exposure, and I have a career of my own who is in the industry. So I see the things as the way an industry sees. I see the things as the way a CEO thinks. I see the things as a part of a top management sees. So if you think just a couple of days ago, you see GoPro have shut down their drone business as well. So if you see, it's not a question of technical expertise, it's a question of business viability. So this is what is the real world situation is. So this is the reason my teachings are going to be always different. I'm not a person who is going to stick with useless junk college theory. So this is what it is. So my approach is completely different. If you are a fresher, you are never going to understand me, and if you are really still new to industry, still you are not going to understand me, because I'm not full I'm not anymore a programmer, so I have crossed that age and I have evolved into something else. So this is what it is. So if you see my past, I even had a company, and as a part of that, whether the company is able to run successfully or it's not a question, because that time there is this recession and 1,000 things happened. So it's not a question. That the question is, the industry sees the things in a different way, and industry sometimes you need a product launch very fast, much sooner in the industry. Sometimes you need to delay it and then launch in the industry based on the market conditions. So if you launch something very early, or some technology which is doing good at this time, if you launch in 1940s or 1950s, people may not understand that technology. Industry may not be suitable for that. But at the same time, if you launch something like this now, people may like it. So this is what an industry is. So there is no correlation between technological aspects and technological possibilities or plausibilities of making a product. It's all about how industry sees and how industry perceives that specific product. So this is the way I will see first, and then later I'm going to see the technological aspect. So I'm a person evolved from a software developer to a sort of intermediate, and then into an entrepreneur, and then I'm into systems architect and stuff like that. So I just see in a different way. I don't see only the theoretical part. So if you see anybody who talks about memory optimization, if you are not working on core embedded systems or something like that, if you are working on a system which got tons of RAM in that, I don't really care about your memory optimization. I really care about your application reliability. So this is what it is. This is the reason sometimes various CEOs hire me, and then they kind of take certain valuable input from me, because if you have good hardware, why do you need to waste your time in terms of optimizing something in your code? Instead, you put all your brains in terms of putting that reliability in place, because in the industry what is important is reliability. You can't have a phone with crashing application, or else your phone itself is crashing. You can't have a network appliance which is a carrier grade network appliance and it is crashing, and then you are going and then restarting the box. So this is not at all a question which is allowed in a final product which is delivered to the customer. So programmers have to also understand industry needs something else, whereas your mundane programming knowledge, what you studied in the college, is completely different. So you don't apply your college skills in the industry as it is, so you are not going to succeed as a part of your career. So this is what it is. So industry is something else, you as a programmer is something else. You cannot be an entrepreneur, and sometimes specific things requested by top management is suddenly going to hurt you, but this is what is the industry is. So you should also understand that. So in case if you are interested, you can send your resume. This is the reason I ask people to send their resumes, so that I can have a look the way they have started their career, what is their college background, what is that they have done in the college, and then subsequently where they have worked, and then this gives an idea that how I can compose mentally, because I don't prepare any syllabus on the paper. So if you are into that, again I'm saying I'm not a person for that. So I know mentally how to handle for a specific person like this, and sometimes it is so weird that as I know astrology, sometimes I also know what could be the interest of this particular person, what is the purpose of his life, so that he can decide his career to be into. So that's what it is. So sometimes it also depends, I need to study really what they are, and then based on that is what I generally change my my approach, the better word is approach towards this individual. So this is what it is. So I do this for each of my student. I never handle identically classes to multiple students. Each individual student I treat them separate, and it is a 1:1 engagement. This is not about a huge classroom with so many students. This is about an individual student. A specific topic or a subject what I teach to them is something very much custom or very much specific to that individual student. So this is not something for a wide audience at most of the times, because if it is something for a wide audience, anyway I'm covering it as a part of my Linux channel videos. So why I need to why anyone have to learn under me? So this is not about that. This is something, sometimes they are in their career and they feel that there is a specific region they need to study. Let it be sometimes not about Linux as well. So it is something like that. So I have that capability that I can fill the gap and I can make them learn what they are looking for. It can be any sort of skill, something what I can handle. So sometimes if they are in that question, they can generally ask about it, and if I feel I am confident, I'm going to say yes, and if I feel I'm not confident, I'm going to say no, or this is what it is. So I mean to say the subject what they are interested to learn. So this is what it is. So hope you guys loved watching this video. So in case if you are interested to learn or join the classes, I hope this video is going to clarify most of your questions, because this is something frequently I send a copy paste mail reply to whoever they send. If it is a student from India, one thing is I just change the fees, and then I say that what could be the lifetime fees which they need to pay. If it is a student from abroad, I'm just going to change the fees. That's it. That's about it, because I need to convert for any abroad student the fees in terms of dollars, no matter where they live. Let them be in Indonesia or let them be in Canada or US, so it is going to be in dollars. Whereas if it is if they are a student from India, they are going to pay in Indian rupees, and they can pay directly to my bank, because you can pay within the same country. That way, if they are student from abroad, they can pay me via wire transfer, or else they can pay through PayPal, so that I can use that PayPal invoice for my filing my tax returns and stuff like that. So as simple as that. So that's about it, guys. So thank you once again for watching this video. Stay tuned. Have a nice day. Bye bye.